Alrighty, we are in the quarterfinals. We're up against Zangi on a white-blue control deck. Very few creatures here in this matchup from our opponent. I believe I get to pick player draw. Zangi is, I believe, 10th seed going into top cut. Just got to spectate. Just got to spectate their match, qualifier match with Kilgaris, and it was a doozy of a match. This is also a doozy of a hand. I get to go last on the interactive deck each top game. So doozy of a hand here. We have Pathetic Cocoon, two Coalesced Cores, Swamp, Journey Begins, Smiling Sludge, Deadly Dispute. I'm thinking we want to go turn one Cocoon off of a Swamp into Core Deadly Dispute. I think we can work with this. The one advantage we have here is because we are 4-0. We're going to be going first almost every single match, pretty much unless it is us versus Scribble, who is first seed. So fingers crossed we don't run into that. I might actually Smiling Sludge next turn, now that I'm thinking about it. So white blue control deck, they're on a lot of stack interaction. They're on 4 Omen of Deception, 4 Afara's Judgment, and 2 Divine Mishap. So 10 pieces of stack interaction. Temple, top, and pass. Alrighty. We'll untap and draw. Coalesced Cliff is nice. Means we can get away with playing the Coalesced Cliff here rather than the Coalesced Core. Definitely want to pitch one of these cores to Extraction Ritual if we can, rather than having to play both out. We're just going to go ahead and get this Smiling Sludge in here. Make that berry while we have the chance. And we're not going to try and send a message with Pathetic Cocoon because Seal Away does exist in this matchup. Not sending a message because I don't want you sealing my cocoon. Alrighty, so one advantage we do have here, we can Journey Begins kind of bait out the stack interaction potentially. We're going to untap. We're going to draw. That's a Nascent Light Vein. Okay. It's already sealed. It's a cocoon. That's true. So I think given the matchup, we're not really going to want to swing Smiling Sludge anytime soon. You know, just don't give Seal Away targets if we can help it. Okay. How important is it that we play around an Omen of Deception? I think it's pretty important. So let's go ahead and play Light Vein on white. We're going to take 1 to Journey Begins. Opponent can't tax us on this if they would like. We get a K. Let's take a look at the top 5. Extraction Ritual going to bottom is a bummer. Swamp going to bottom and Light Vein going to bottom is all right. Feasting Predator, Cogwork Harvester. Let's take a Cogwork Harvester, I think. Yeah, I like taking the Cogwork Harvester so we can play that next turn and just hold the Deadly Dispute potentially. Uh, yeah, I like that. Taking the Harvester. Ship the rest to bottom. Don't care about the order right now. Consideration here is playing your own cards. Who would ever do that? For context, Temple of Enlightenment is from Theros Age of Tracks, as is many of the control tools in our opponent's deck. Theros Age of Tracks, designed by Zangi. I could equip the berries to Pathetic Cocoon. The reason to do that would be Benthelos. Being able to kill a Benthelos seems pretty important. I'm going to restrain myself, though. So we're going to go ahead and just pass here. We can Deadly Dispute away a creature if it's getting targeted by removal. They're just going to Seafloor Treasures. That is fine. We're going to pop out our opponent's graveyard because of Seafloor Treasures and because they're on 4 of Harbor Mail, I believe. Yep, 4 Harbor Mail. Is just that kind of matchup. We are going to give the all clear on that. If we can save Deadly Dispute, I would like to. They pitch a seal away. That is good news for us. Primal Fisher. We're getting a Harbor Mail, which means we do not have to play around the 3-mana stack interaction. That does mean also that Seafloor Treasures is going to cantrip before it resolves if they surface it or if they have another Seafloor Treasures in hand. One important thing about this matchup, though, is that our opponent is on only the Seafloor Treasures in terms of ways to trigger Harbor Mail. So it is the only time that they're going to be getting these Harbor Mails back is off of more Seafloor Treasures. Binning a Primal Fisher is a good sign. It makes me suspect that they are a little land flooded. And if they're going to be flooding out, not having the duel seems pretty... Not having the creature land is pretty good for us. We're just going to pass to our turn and draw. We find a Feasting Predator, which is going to be castable next turn with 2 mana up. Let's go ahead and Coalesced Core. Pay a green and a white for that Cogwork Harvester. We get a from our opponent. And Harvester in play. So this is going to be a good bit of mana advantage for us moving forward and is going to get us some value off of Deadly Dispute here. We'll go ahead and pass. At this point now, if our opponent does take actions that leaves them off of 2 mana, we are going to respond with a Deadly Dispute, pitching the berry. Notably, we have, in theory, missed 2 damage. If that comes up, then that's something to discuss. They have 4 mana up. Let's Deadly Dispute here. Because our opponent can either respond to this, at which point we get some opportunity to make decisions about them having less mana available. It looks like there's going to be an Omen of Deception. We're going to go ahead and give the K. We gain 1 from Smiling Sludge. We make a construct with Cogwork Harvester. It's a little buddy. I'm going to go ahead and untap and draw. We hit the Coalesced Mesa. We've got the Suite. Let's Mesa. Swamp, Cliff, Light Vein for Feasting Predator. So this is going a bit all in here. We could consider putting a berry on the construct token here. In the event that they try and flash out Benthelos and ambush the construct, but I think I'm fine just risking the construct here. Opponent just takes the one. And we're gonna go ahead and pass. Anything on our end step, opponent? Scary thing here is Fall of Elantin. Opponent is now at 4 white mana for Fall of Elantin. No fall on their turn, which means they might have it on ours. Let's go ahead and untap. We will draw. Sunlit Ruins is the draw for turn. Okay. Decisions. Kind of an unfortunate position to be in right now. It's definitely losing a bit of steam. We're going to go ahead and play the Sunlit Ruins, stop taking damage off of our Coalesced Cliff if we can help it. Would have been valuable to maybe hold up the second card in hand, but I do want to develop this mana while I can. If they have Fall of Elantin, this is going to be really brutal for us. 6 cards in hand, 4 copies in the deck. So they need 1 of 4 out of the top 17. It's probable that they have it. So what is our best play with that in mind? I think it's going to be swing the Construct, swing the Feasting Predator. And we're not going to equip the berry. Opponent takes 4. Going to move to main 2, and we're just going to pass along here. Opponent pays 2 for a Seal Away, targeting the Feasting Predator. Something we kind of had to be prepared for. Better to not Zangy using a Zangoose for their profile picture. Not surprising they want the Survivor out of play. Kind of an acceptable loss we had to consider there is losing the Feasting Predator to Seal Away in exchange for being able to get in on. Oh, opponent was tapping 3 but untapped. What could be 3 mana here? Could be Gone Pickin' that's being considered here. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Gone Pickin'. Something worth considering here is, do we value the 1 damage from Smiling Sludge more than we value having the berry in play? I don't think we value that damage more. Alrighty. Berry Master is a big draw here. So we're going to go white, black, green, and 1 for Berry Master. We get the K. Berry Master's going to come in. We make 2 berries. We're going to hold onto this coalesced core for now. We can push 1 to 13, push them to 13 here. If they play Benthalos, we can Berry Master before blocks, buff the construct, kill Benthalos. And I don't imagine they do that because of this. So they're just going to take 1. We're going to pass. And Berry Master is just going to be on Eternal holding up mana duty. As far as sideboarding goes, just talking about it in advance, because this is going to be a very slow matchup, and so having a plan for game 2 is going to matter. Opponent playing nothing has me a little worried. Pathetic Cocoon. Declaring move to start a combat. Opponent is okay with that. We're going to hold on to the Pathetic Cocoon for now. Opponent's just going to take the 1. And we're just going to hold the Cocoon here. Tapping for 2. Benthalos. Yeah, they're going to copy Gone Pickin'. We're going to pop 2 berries, kill Benthalos. Make another berry. So this is a matchup where I think I do like Psyhawk as well. It's a flash threat that gets in under their interaction, as well as stopping them from doing things like making tokens off of Benthalos, making tokens off of their Planeswalker, Shang-Fa. Stuff to be prepared for. They're just consolidating their board a little bit. We're in a sketchy position, to be sure. Opponent is just passing here. We will draw. That's another Cogwork Harvester. We're going to bank that as well. Do we want to just start swinging the Cogwork Harvester? If they have a Seal Away... No, I'm in a bit of a sketchy position, actually, right now. If they have a Benthalos... If they have a Benthalos, then I'm in a really sketchy position, because I just throw away the Construct. And they get to seal away... They get to Gone Pickin' the Cogwork Harvester. So in the event that that happens, I'd rather not expose the Construct here. It is not letting me click second main. Yeah, getting the Deadly Dispute countered is actually really rough. Being 2 cards behind in our deck is not where we want to be right now. The sketchy thing is just that we have opponents sitting on Fall of Volantean mana as well as Counterspell mana. That's the struggle of playing against control, right? I think we're just going to pass. Because if they have... if they have Benthalos here to copy something, to copy a Gone Pickin', That's another Benthelos. So that's going to copy Gone Pickin'. Just clarifying that if I understand correctly, uh, target being gone means no berry. So I'll sacrifice Harvester to itself. I'll add a red mana. Use the red mana as their turn begins. Definitely in a not comfy position right now. Double Benthelos is really rough. Um, Opponent is just going to pass right on through their turn. One thing that's notable is they're missing land drops here, so they're not getting to develop more mana. So that is a slight advantage for us. Berry Fermenter would be great right now if we had some of our permanents in play still. What do we do here? There's a consideration for equip Berry, go to combat, swing 2, and then second main play the Pathetic Cocoon. I like that. Actually, I think I'm just going to let it hang back. Because what this does now is this threatens a trade if they don't equip berries. And if they do, I just let it through and they've lost that resource. I think we're going to keep banking everything in our hand right now. Do I love doing this? No, not at all. But opponents on control, we need to have our resources available to us and find windows. And right now the window is wide open for our opponent, which means it is shut for us. So getting ourselves into positions to open that window back up is what we're going to have to try here. 100-Handed Pillars is a scary draw for turn, but we do know that's their draw at the very least. So the things they have access to this turn are the things they had access to last turn. So they're going to keep on passing it back. Benthelos is a scary thing that is now available to them, but the advantage of our opponent getting Benthelos is that does rob them of the ability to respond on the stack. So we're going to go ahead and play Primal Fisher here. We're going to crack that for a forest, I think. No, we're going to crack that for a swamp, I think, on our upkeep. We're just going to pass on back. If we're going to be playing Draw Go, then we're playing Draw Go. One island. Alrighty. Is this Benthelos coming down here? Or not Benthelos, Shangfa. Nope, they're animating 100-Handed Pillars. We're just going to take 4. Because they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, costs 1 to animate. So no longer safe to swing in anyways. Upkeep, we are cracking this. Going to find a swamp, just thin out what lands we can. That's another cocoon. Going to just run out the cocoon here. We get the resolves. Just going to make that separate. We're actually just going to rearrange things a little bit. Do we run out the third cocoon here? I think we do. It resolves. So the notable thing here is that this applies pressure to an opposing Fall of Lantin. We're just going to block and make the berry here. Cocoon is doing its job. That is a feasting predator. So we're going to try and get this in, and it's going to get countered. But if it doesn't, this is going to stop the 100-handed pillars for now. We're getting counterspelled, and they're going to draw a card. Consideration here as well of maybe we just run out Berry Fermenter while we have a chance. I'm going to put another berry on the construct token. I'm going to put 2 on the construct token, actually. Beefing up the bug. And the reason for this is I want to leave up 2 mana. I want to make my opponent think about Deadly Dispute, but I also want my opponent to be unable to hit me with 100-handed pillars, and I will trade 5 berries to kill that 100-handed pillars right now, because that buys me a lot of time. And I will be able to do that if they swing the 100-handed pillars and let me block with Pathetic Cocoon. That being said, right now our opponent is in the driver's seat of this match. So can't say I'm too optimistic about this one. I'm just kind of putting the impetus on my opponent to actually go across the finish line here. Thinking about what our opponent has in the sideboard, they've got 4 Soul Guide Lantern, 4 Fall of Tracks, 4 Ripple Effect, and 3 Travel Through the Mystic Sea. I don't think any of those are particularly relevant against us. Opponent is swinging the 100-handed pillars at us. You're going to go ahead and make another berry. Nightmare scenario here is... Oh, no, actually, I was going to say nightmare scenario here would be our opponent getting to Benthelos Gone Pickin' in response before damage on the construct token. They're pitching card to hand here, which is good. Our opponent's worried about what we have in hand. That is the 3rd seal away. So I believe that's only 1 more. Yeah, only 1 more seal away, and then we're clear to start turning things sideways with Reckless Abandon. We will untap. We will draw. That's the final Feasting Predator. One in Rome, right? Waiting to see if opponent is going to respond here. Tapping Island. They're tapping 3. That's going to be Divine Mishap. Yep. That's the struggle of this matchup. Very often our opponent has 6 3-mana counter spells that draw a card. So we're going to go ahead and pay 2. Bury up this construct token. So this is going to stem the tide of 100-handed pillars, unless they would like to clear our berries to kill it. But at this point, you know, our opponent is just trying to find a way to kill us. And this does keep them from doing that at the very least. That's 3 mana. They do have enough. They're going to get to Seafloor Treasures here. Unfortunately, we don't have any response here, which does tilt our hand a little bit about where we are at card-wise in hand. Very, very tough matchup. Opponent binned Temple of Origins from the Seafloor Treasures. Binned Harbor Mail. Sorry, no, put Harbor Mail in the bin. Surveilled to top and drew off of Harbor Mail, which is a bad sign. Because that makes me think that we're due for a Fall of Trax, or Fall of Elantin, plus animate 100-handed pillars to murder us. Is this just a Gone Pickin' from hand? This might just be a Gone Pickin' from hand. Opponent is untapping. They are animating the 100-handed pillars. I think they're deciding that they are okay trading the 100-handed pillars to get the berries out of the board before... Oh, I see. They're going to put a berry on the 100-handed pillars. We're just going to take 5. I'm cool with that berry getting burned. Does take the resource away from them. Yeah, so opponent, I think, is sitting on that piece of interaction. Opponent, Zangi says, see, look, we're playing berries as they are meant to be played. Indeed, no sacrifice cheaty face plays here. We are just putting berries on creatures. Opponent on second main. I clicked end instinctively. Opponent tapping 3, Foregone Pickin'. Yeah, that's going to get rid of the colorless construct, I think. If we draw something that is high impact here, our opponent does only have 3 mana available. They pitch a Redeveloped Cityscape to hand. So a high impact draw would be nice, actually. We untap. We draw Journey Begins. We're going to pay a black and a green and go for the Cogwork Harvester. See if this resolves. Because I feel like this is something our opponent wants to counter. Oh, we get the K. We're gonna Journey Begins. We get the K again. Construct in play. Let's go ahead and clear that arrow real quick. You top 5. Smiling Sludge, Berry Fermenter, Berry Master, Pathetic Cocoon, and Berry Fermenter again. Unfortunate that Berry Master is heading to the bottom here as our only other copy of this card, but that does mean we still haven't seen either copy of Iteration. And this is a matchup where I think Iteration is really important. Smiling Sludge is the card that actually wins us the game here if we can get it in play, so we're going to take the Smiling Sludge. We're not going to run it out this turn, though. Just ship these to the bottom. Opponent is not happy to see Smiling Sludge here. Do we expose ourselves to stack interaction? We are safe from an Omen of Deception, but they've had a lot of time to sculpt their hand. They kept on top with Harbor Mail. I think they have something on top that they care about. We could play Coalesced Core first and go for Berry Fermenter. That puts a lot of pressure on our opponent. Let's wait, though. Opponent taps 2 for Seafloor Treasures number 2. Giving our opponent the all clear here. They've been a Temple of Origins. One other notable thing here, if we can keep this 100-handed pillars from applying too much pressure, you know, there are 26 cards already. That, like, especially if their Shangfas are close to the bottom, pressure is like, we do have the ability to put the impetus on them to kill us. That is the third Gone Pickin'. So that is going to eat the Cogwork Harvester, and we cannot deny the berry this time. Putting a berry on Benthelos here. Paying a white to animate the 100-handed pillars. Swinging 7. So we are in a sketchy position here. We can block with the Pathetic Cocoon, but I think I want that in play in case we get Extraction Ritual. So we're going to take 7. They lose the berries. Oh, did they put 2 berries on? Okay, no, they just destroyed 1. I missed it moving up here. We will untap and draw. Smart Shopper. Oof. Things to choose. The unfortunate case here, though, is a Fall of Elantin is lethal for our opponent. But we're going to do what we can to kind of squeeze through here. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, they've got enough on board to Fall of Elantin. They could even activate 100-handed pillars and respond with Fall of Elantin if they didn't have the devotion otherwise. Oh, whoops. Meant to click the berry fermenter. Going for the berry fermenter here. Oh my goodness. Opponent goes for a Far's Judgment. They're countering and drawing a card. So our opponent has one seal away. Can we do this? Because now we can go Smiling Sludge, Coalesced Core, swing the Construct token with 3 berries on it. We hit for 4, sack 3 berries, gain 3, deal 3. They don't have the ability to Omen of Deception us out of any interaction. Playing the Coalesced Core does reveal that this is the last card in our hand, because we did accidentally misclick on that. We get the K. The one case where this is brutal is if our opponent has that final seal away, in which case we are just dead to a Fall of Volantin, but that is a risk we have to take. The final consideration here is, do we want to push 3 berries on the construct, or do we just put 2 and preserve this mystery card in our hand? No. I think we... I think we're going to go full information. Opponent... Oh, they had the last seal away. Ugh. Tragic and heartbreaking here. Part of me wants to just say level with me. You've had a Fall of Volantin in hand all game, right? All right. Unfortunate. We tried to play pretty measured, but when our opponent gets to see 2/3 of their deck, they're gonna find the 4th copy of Seal Away. Narrowly, almost had a chance to claw back into that and push our opponent into a really sticky situation, even with our misclick. Our opponent being willing to let us roll back the misclick. First time playing against berries. Well, there were only 2 of us in the field. So choices. We're not going to play Gone Pickin'. I don't think Gone Pickin' is that important. As I've mentioned before with Gone Pickin', I don't want it in matchups where our opponent is going to be on ways of removing our own Gone Pickin', because in those situations, we don't want to Gone Pickin' our opponent's enchantment removal, or enchantment-based removal, because then we just give them the ability to remove the Gone Pickin' and enable their removal again. So we don't want to play that song and dance. Soul Guide Lantern doesn't matter. The surface cards are pretty inconsequential, but I think we want Hungry Blob, Looming Psyhawk, and Yeji. So first off, Feasting Predator can go. I'm sure, Zangy, if you're watching this VOD, you're pretty excited to see Feasting Predator come out of my main deck because no more Viper. But I think as much as it is good for specifically trading with the 100-handed pillars, this is not doing a relevant thing in our matchup. Our opponent's not on destruction-based removal. Our opponent doesn't really have creatures. So it's not really going to be pulling a whole lot of weight. Other thing to consider, Scrap Weight loses a lot of its value as a removal spell. It only really does something as the combo, and our opponent is applying pressure to Smiling Sludge anyways. I think Berry Fermenter is enough for the combo angle to the deck. We're going to get rid of the Scrap Weights as well. Final consideration here is we did see Deadly Dispute be kind of awkward in the face of interaction. And we're going to go down the one of Cocoon, Dispute, and Extraction Ritual. I think I do still want it a lot, but it's going to be a little riskier. So much like before in previous rounds, we're going to go down one of each. So unfortunately, we are going to have to really battle our way uphill here. Cityscape Fisher. Ooh. Cityscape Fisher, Fermenter Master, Psyhawk, Double Smiling Sludge. We're going to keep. I think we're going to go Cityscape. We might pitch the Berry Master. We're going to obviously wait to see what our opponent does here. But nice thing about Psyhawk is it plays very nicely against Benthelos. Yep, our opponent doesn't really give us a whole lot of information. Smiling Sledge is really important. If we can get these in play, that's going to be really good for us. Berry Fermenter is our only real way of doing the sludge kill at instant speed. I think it might be pitch the Berry Master. This feels really weird, but we don't want to pitch the Primal Fisher. This is our land drop number 3 off of Cityscape, and our 3 drops are going to want that third land. I'm just going to say this feels gross to do. We will see if that is a mistake, but I think, honestly, you know, Smiling Sludge is how we're killing our opponent without having to attack. Berry Fermenter is going to be how we have our Smiling Sludges kill without attacking, and Psyhawk is going to be how we mess with what our opponent's doing. So in that respect, we're going to go ahead and get Swamp to play tapped, Forest to hand. And we drew the land. So we should have held on to it and pitched the Primal Fisher. But these are the mistakes we make. These are the lessons we learn. We're going to go ahead and play that Forest. And run out first Smiling Sludge. Make a berry. And we will pass on over to our opponent. Nice thing about Light Vein is it is going to be very flexible here. Fisher going to get our white source means Light Vein is just going to be any color we want. Oh, they're pitching a Benthelos. A little prescient with a Looming Psyhawk in hand, but that tells me right now that they might be sitting on a Benthelos in hand, so they don't really want a second. Almost certainly they're going to be holding up Omen of Deception here. Question then remains of, do we just not care about I had to wait for a second because I didn't want to accidentally draw twice. It's lagging a little bit. There we go. We're going to play Primal Fisher. We're gonna hold it as long as we can here. We're going to go to combat, I think, and turn this Smiling Sludge sideways. No fear of Omen. No fear of Seal Away this match. We get to deal the 1. We're going to pass. Psyhawk is going to be very, very solid here. Opponent plays another Temple. So that's their 3rd white source. We're going to bank the Primal Fisher, I think. That's an extraction ritual right there. So here's what we're going to do. Light Vein. Set annotation to white to untap it. We're going to go to combat. We're going to swing for 1. Main phase 2. And we will pass. Opponent is just kind of playing the draw-go game. 100-handed pillars. Here's what we're going to do. Psyhawk. We probably should have played Psyhawk on their end step the previous turn. We get the yeah, that's fine. I'm going to regret it if I wanted that second Psyhawk in play. Sighting in against poor Benthelos. You know it. Sighting against Shengfa. We deal 3, gain 2. Main 2. Just going to keep on passing. Opponent does have Fall of Elantin mana here. But right now they're on the back foot. Another Temple tapped. So their mana is really perfect. We will untap and draw. That's a Yeji. Something we can consider here is crack Primal Fisher now, play Yeji, and then Extraction Ritual. Let's do combat first, I think, because we can Ritual and slip in a Berry Fermenter here. With Yeji. We get to gain 2. Main phase 2. Let's crack the Fisher. View library. Go find a swamp. We get a K from our opponent. Makes me think they're sitting on Fall of Elantin here. So we're going to Extraction Ritual, sacrificing the berry, sacrificing Psyhawk, discarding a Berry Fermenter. That's going to push 2 to our opponent, 10 to 20, 26, and then we take 3. And then I think we're going to get Cityscape? Let's Ritual here. We could also hold off on the Psyhawk. We could also get specifically Sludge. We sack the Sludge, still sees 2 triggers. Discarding Berry Fermenter, I think. I think right now I'm fine with pitching the Looming Psyhawk. So developing mana could be nice. Oh, I think it's going to be the Berry Fermenter. As nice as getting the Cityscape is and just developing more mana, I think we do need to push some stuff into play. As far as Judgment is going to stop the Extraction Ritual, that is perfectly fine. Counter, but we get Fermenter. So let's clone the Fermenter. This is out of our bin. We gain 2. And we will make a berry. Opponent plays a land. If they have a Shangfa, this would be an opportunity for them to Shangfa and get the uptick. They're just going to fire off Fall of Atlantean now. Do I want to... Yeah, I'm just gonna lose these now. Alrighty. We will untap. We will draw Harvester. Definitely feeling a little punished for not getting the land there. Of course, the mana up for Omen is a problem. That's why we don't just run out the Psyhawk there. They have 7th land. We find another Yeji. Do we just Sludge here? Sludge equipped both berries? Maybe we should have done that last turn. A little bit on autopilot here, just kind of not sure what to do. We're gonna pass. I have a funny feeling this is going to be the end of our GP run. Nah. I'm thinking about if we wanted a Psyhawk there, but... Okay, there's our 5th land. Let's go for the Berry Fermenter here. We get the K. Maybe we just run out the Smiling Sludge? No, this lets us hold up the Looming Psyhawk, and I think that's important. They are going to Fissure on their upkeep. Three mana for Gone Pickin'. Just going to Psyhawk with this on the stack. Kind of force the issue. Because if they respond to this, we get a window of getting to go Yeji Smiling Sludge. And even if they counter the Smiling Sludge with... even if they counter Psyhawk here with, say, Omen of Deception, and then have a 3-mana counter spell... Oh, we resolve the Psyhawk. That's pretty big. Tapping 3 for a second Gone Pickin'. That is unfortunate. So they are going to get the berry from that one. We draw a Smart Shopper. One Smart Shopper, they shopped smart. I don't know why I just said that. We can go Yeji Smart Shopper for Psyhawk. They just counter this Yeji though, right? Question is, if they counter Yeji, which of these other cards in my hands do I think I want to get in play most? I think it's going to be the Sludge. So let's leave up Shopper or Sludge here. Yeji. Getting the counterspell here. Devotion is not 3, so they only get the counterspell. And let's go ahead and... Maybe we do just run out the Smart Shopper. It's a 2/2. Pressures them to keep 100-handed pillars up and is going to generate value. Yeah, let's take the 1 for Smart Shopper here. Because this is just going to make berries on cast of spells. So, does some more meaningful things than a Smiling Sludge in play. Though both do just get eaten by a Gone Pickin' and result in having 2 berries instead of 1. They're tapping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're swinging the 100-handed pillars. They're getting in there. They don't have up the ability to do something here by doing that. Oh, I just realized somehow I'm like stuck in my head that like this is a really sketchy situation. They've got 2 cards in hand. They do need to start putting some pressure on. And that puts us in a very comfortable position. We will draw Sunlit Ruins. We're going to play that Sunlit Ruins. We get the K from our opponent. If they don't have a Benthelos here, we have lethal. And if they do have a Benthelos, we force out the Benthelos here. So let's force out the Benthelos. Tyranny of Tracks. Yeah. Smart Chopper down. Rough. That is 1 card in our opponent's hand remaining. Stop trying to eat unripe berries. Oh. It was safe to assume they had some interaction in hand with them making that attack, but still. They weren't sure what my card in hand was, so they couldn't have known I was sitting on Smiling Sludge. Harbor Mail is a rough card for opponent to have here. So they are holding up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have enough for 100-handed pillars activation. We will untap. We will draw. Hungry Blob is pretty good. Is that good enough? We equip 2 berries, so Blob doesn't die if it gets blocked. And then that taps our opponent out of a lot of mana. And we get Berry Fermenter. How many berries do we need to equip to kill with Berry Fermenter if they have nothing? So real quick, Fall of Tracks, or Tyranny of Tracks, tapped or if its toughness is 4 or greater. They have 1 in main, none in sideboard. So that is their 1 copy of Tyranny of Tracks. To the Last Breath. To the Last Breath could work. No, it can't. Not if we put 2 berries on it. Not if we put at least 2 berries on it. Okay, but hold on. If they do have that, if they do have To the Last Breath, they can animate 100-handed pillars for 6, block with the pillars in response before damage to the Last Breath, the Smiling Sludge. 4 damage marked on it, so it dies no matter how many berries are on it. Basically, what I'm saying is, I think if one of the 2 cards in their hand is To the Last Breath, I think we lose no matter what. But 2 berries on Smiling Sludge means we get in for 3 plus 2 to 5. They go to 5. We have 3 berries left over. If we do 3 berries, they go to 3. But we don't have enough mana to put all 4 berries on there, and all 4 berries is how we kill them. I think what we're just going to have to do is make our opponent simplify this for us. We can pick out the berry for sure, but we can hit one of these two Gone Pickens. It's just a question of which one we would rather hit. I guess there's also a world where Benthelos is in hand here, and we're in some awful and we're in an awful position. I did speculate that we had Benthelos in the opening hand with them pitching the Benthelos early, but I do now think that it could be likely that they just didn't have good Benthelos targets early. I'm just playing this to kill their berry. Oh, we're getting an Afara's Judgment. Notably, this does tap my opponent out of 100-handed pillars. Counter it. So if they have Benthelos here, we are in an awful position. But I think we just have to take the opportunity. Worst case scenario is Benthelos. Don't have a Benthelos. Did they have the second Benthelos this whole time? Opponent's thinking. Oh, sitting on the second Fall of Elantine is also real rough. That being said, Smiling Sludge forces out the Fall of Elantine, and now our opponent is empty-handed with nothing but 100-handed pillars in play. We're looking worse for wear, though. That's 2 Psyhawks, 2 Yeegis out, and 1 Hungry Blob. Opponent tapping. Oh, they play a land. Oh, that's second 100-handed pillars. We're just going to take 4. We're in the clear here with whatever we draw, so let it be a good one. Journey Begins could be amazing. Let's pay a green and a black for Cogwork Harvester. Just letting our opponent know that I'm gonna assume they're F6'd here. Journey Begins. We make a construct. Few top 5. Oh, Yeji as one of the cards here is rough. We could hold Yeji for next turn, but I think we just grab Yeji and put her in play now, because it's 2 Harvesters, 2 lands Yeji. Alrighty. And we're pretty priced into swinging with everything next turn. Opponent passes. Worst case scenario is they just drew the 3rd Fall of Elantine. But I feel like you just sorcery speed that. That is not what we want to see here. We'll move to combat. Or hold on. Let's be responsible. They can only animate 100-handed pillars. We put 3 berries on Yeji. She clocks for 6. And we trigger Get Smiling Sludge. If that happens, they have to block Yeji, otherwise they die. Benthlos copying could amp it up to get back a Yeji. So this pushes 6. Smiling Sludge pushes 3. You're gonna turn the crew sideways. Target a Smiling Sludge. Could have hit Hungry Blob here to push out the Psyhawk or to push out the Berry Fermenter, but I think we just need to get the thing that kills. And this puts some pressure on our opponent to have to animate 100-handed pillars and throw it away to Yeji. Alrighty. Clone a Sludge. We make a berry. Did they have the third fall of Elantian? Oh no, they're animating. We gain 3. Unattach them all. Opponent has Ifara's Judgment. Draw mode on Ifara's Judgment. That's a good sign. Yeah, our opponent not really being able to get multiple points of devotion in play. The life gain would be important for our opponent here, but they can't really afford to wait for it. I think worst case scenario is... Oh, no! Harbor Mail is up there. I was going to say worst case scenario is Sheng Fa here locking out our combat next turn. Because that prevents us from getting back anything with Yeji. Opponent... Oh, no! They found the seafloor treasures. Are we about to get robbed of this game by Harbor Mail? Sorcery speed eavesdrop that is free cast later at the low cost of playing card advantage or card selection. Whew. I mean, this is the story of this GP for a lot of other people, is getting absolutely destroyed by Harbor Mail getting card advantage. And that's a Sheng Fa. Yep. I did say that was the nightmare scenario. So there is a world where we can still win here. But we need to draw one of the cards that we boarded out. We need to draw an Extraction Ritual or a Deadly Dispute. And they have the board wipe ticking. So it is now or never. Draw. That's bad. So Harvester, sacrifice a berry, put my opponent to 4. All 4 of Far's judgments are gone. Their life gain is away. They have 2 seafloor treasures in bin. Yeah, and once again, our opponent's seen like 2/3 of their deck pretty much. All right, I think the best I can do here is just hold up Cogwork Harvester activation, eat a berry. I'm gonna pass. And we'll do that in response to the board wipe specifically. So they do still have 2 unconditional counterspells in their deck between the 2 copies of Divine Mishap, but their uncounterable interaction their hard counters are pretty clear. So that's our last Yeji gone. Sludge is destroyed, the token sludge. So now we're down to 2 sludges in deck. We'll draw. Not what we wanted to see there. We get the K from our opponent. Yeah, Benthelos, I think, is going to just kind of lock us here. Oh, opponent sitting on Omen of Deception and the gone pick in number 3. Oh, drawing a 3rd Harvester on the top. Yeah. Whew. All right. Unfortunately, that is the end of our run here. Control does what Control does, and it is bully the combo deck out of existence. We're a combo mid-range deck, and both of those strategies do not like opponents being able to just kind of go over top of you. And that's exactly what our opponent's looking to do here. We could never really find a opener that... we could never really justify digging for an opener that squeezes under them on the first few turns. Having a turn 1... Cocoon into turn 2 ritual would have been sweet, but gonna kind of just roll with the punches here a little bit. So unfortunately, this is gonna be the end of our run this month. I'll get cracking on recording the final thoughts of the deck in just a moment here. But this has been a really fun deck. I don't think this deck will, or at least I don't think this deck should exist in the state that it's currently in. So I can't say I feel too confident about my chances next month. But I also don't think the card that really took our chances away there, Harbor Mail, that draw chain, I don't think that's going to be possible next month either. Tentatively guessing that's not going to be possible because a lot of folks are not pleased with Harbor Mail's prevalence and dominance in this tournament. But it's getting its chance here, and everybody's putting it through its paces. So thank you all for watching this very, very long quarterfinals match. Bummer that we didn't go the distance, but this is still another top cut under my belt, which is nice to have. I'll see you all in the final thoughts.